Since Fortnite's release in 2017, its popularity has exploded, reaching every corner of the globe. It enjoys such longevity in its popularity because every few months they drop a brand new battle pass filled to the brim with new skins, emotes, and toys for players to have fun with. Each battle pass season has its own unique flavor and theme. With now 14 seasons to look back on, we've got to ask, which season is the best and which one is the worst? We've taken a hard look at every season and came up with some criteria to judge them. First, we'll look at the skins that were offered in the Battle Pass. This is by far the most important criteria, as the skins are the way players interact with the game, and a lack of cool skins makes players less likely to try and progress through the season. Secondly, we looked at what new items, vehicles, and weapons were introduced in that season. The more the better in that regard. Finally, we looked at how the map changed at the start of the season and how the team at Epic Games developed it over the course of that season. With all these criteria in mind, we ranked every Fortnite season from best to worst. Before we get into our rankings, why not give the video a like, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and click that bell so you never miss a video. Also use code NewScapePRO in the item shop. This is NewScapeGames, your source for Fortnite news, leaks, and theories.
Number 14. Chapter 1, Season 1.
Fortnite Island had some humble beginnings with Season 1. Looking at the map, you can see how barren it was back then. Some major locations that have lasted all throughout the game, like Salty Springs, Retail Row, and Pleasant Park, are there. Aside from those and a few other locations though, there are large portions of the map that are just barren wastelands. Players back then accepted this at face value. They had no idea how much craziness the game would later introduce. This season is rather unique as it did not have a battle pass. Instead, players could unlock skins to purchase by gaining XP throughout the season. The skins available for purchase included Aerial Assault Trooper and Renegade Raider. This is a weird system, and we're glad it got replaced by the battle pass system that we have now. There just wasn't a lot going on during the season, which makes sense because Fortnite was just starting out. This season comes in last as we just don't see it as that amazing when compared to later seasons. It may be last on our list, but we respect Season 1 for its place in Fortnite history.
Number 13. Chapter 1, Season X.
This ranks low for several key reasons. Most importantly though was the introduction of the Brood Mech. This vehicle was as overpowered as they come, ripping enemies to shreds with the launch of a barrage of missiles. Players instantly hated the Brute Mech, and the Battle Pass didn't help out either. Every skin was an update of a previous skin, which led to an either love it or hate it feeling towards them. This season also saw Rift Zones introduced, which made certain POIs into radically different areas. Gotham City and Tilted Town, while cool, disrupted gameplay with weird mechanics like no building and unlimited glider redeploys. This disruption to the flow of the game means this ranks low on our list.
Number 12. Chapter 1, Season 2.
Season 2 ranks low for a lot of the same reasons that Season 1 ranks low. The map gained some classic new POIs at the start of this season, namely Tilted Towers and Snobby Shores. Tilted Towers was the all-time best Fortnite location. Every match was a bloodbath there. Players had tons of chests and locations to fight over, and we really missed its inclusion in the game. This was the first season to include a battle pass. This one went up to 70, and at the very top sat Black Knight. This was the first top-tier skin and has a special place in players' hearts because of that. The season theme was based around medieval knights, with only Sparkle Specialist standing out as not part of the theme. As much as we like knights, we think that it wasn't taken far enough. Black Knight has no alternate styles, and Blue Squire and Royale Knight just aren't that interesting together. Red Knight would have made more sense to be included in the Battle Pass, but instead she was just released in the item shop. This season really set the stage for Chapter 1's art style. A little exaggerated and slightly cartoony. We appreciate what this season brought to the game, but ultimately it gets overshadowed by later seasons.
Number 11. Chapter 1, Season 3.
Season 3 of Chapter 1 saw the introduction of a few things that would have a lasting impact on the game. Finally, the Battle Pass went up 100 tiers, and forever after it would stay there. The top skin for that season was the Reaper, based on the popular Keanu Reeves film John Wick. This was interesting as we now know how heavy Fortnite goes in with tie-in skins. This was the first one to really be based on an existing character, and was a hint as to what we could expect from Epic in the future. The map had a few changes, with the biggest being the introduction of Lucky Landing in the south. This was a cool location and had a strong theme to it that really made it feel unique. What makes this season rank higher than the previous ones is that it lays the groundwork for the Fortnite storyline. In the skies above the island, a meteor was spotted by players. Throughout the map, telescopes pointed their lenses towards Tilted Towers. Players waited in anticipation for Tilted to get smashed by the meteor, only for Season 4 to have it smash into Dusty Depot. This space theme was reflected in some of the Battle Pass skins. 3 whole astronauts were included to drive home the idea to watch the skies. This was a very important season in the development of Fortnite.
Number 10. Chapter 1, Season 5.
This season saw the introduction of a lot of cool locations, items, and gameplay mechanics that it sticks out. At the start of the season, new locations such as Paradise Palms, the Viking Town, and Lazy Links were introduced. Each one provided much needed intrigue to these sections of the map. The map started to feel alive at this point, with new locations giving a different flavor to each region. The desert biome was a big change, and one that we'd like to see come back. The season also saw the ATK introduced, a vehicle that, while low on firepower and speed, did give players a much needed mobility boost. Where Season 5 felt a little weak was in its Battle Pass skins. They were just too varied to feel like a solid theme. Drift may live on in people's minds, but other than him, we think most of these skins have largely been forgotten. Season 5 saw a lot of changes, but not necessarily were they the best. We did enjoy Kevin the Cube tearing up Fortnite Island, and his final dissolution into Loot Lake was a fun game mechanic. Ultimately, this season was solid, but not spectacular.
Number 9. Chapter 2, Season 1.
After the end event of Season X, players were excited to get their hands on the next season of the game. The first season of Chapter 2 didn't disappoint, giving players a whole new map, new vehicles, and a battle pass that had twice as many skins as usual. Season 1 gets a lot of pluses for being jam-packed with new and exciting things. The battle pass gave alternate styles to each skin, with one siding with Alter and the other with Ego. For the new season, Epic gave us a very straightforward conflict, much like a G.I. Joe show. What makes this season not rank as high as it could is that it seemingly went on forever. Lasting 128 days, this season kept getting extended and with little content to make up for it in the meantime. Not a terrible season by any means, but just way too long.
Number 8. Chapter 2, Season 3.
This was a fun season to play through. Every week the water would recede further, exposing new and exciting landmarks. This progression over the season was very cool and made us excited to log in every week. The Battle Pass, though, left a little to be desired. Kit and Jules stood out as the next generation in the Ghost vs. Shadow conflict. The other skins, though, just weren't that great. It continued the trend of revealing the secret skin to players at the start of the season, which we think takes away from the Battle Pass's coolness. Ultimately, this season changed enough for us to like it, but didn't really give us enough to really love it.
Number 7. Chapter 1, Season 6.
Halloween arrived with a bang in Season 6, and we think this was possibly the strongest themed season ever. Each skin followed this theme. We had werewolves, vampires, and those that hunted them. A haunted castle and cemetery was introduced to the game that gave the northwest section of the map the final push to be a fantastic drop zone. Also during this season was the first Fort Nightmares. Around the map, rocks would spawn husks that the player would need to defeat as they struggled for victory. This season isn't as high for one key reason. Not much happened during it. Yes, Fort Nightmares was a big change of pace, but really other than that, the season felt like an in-betweener, not wanting to shake things up too much before the radical changes we saw during Season 7. A solid season, but one that we think just doesn't stick in our minds compared to others.
Number 6. Chapter 1, Season 8.
The changes to the map are really what makes Season 8 stand out in our mind. The raising of the volcano by the prisoner and the introduction of Sunny Steps and Lazy Lagoon gave us what felt like a whole new map to fight on. The map by this point had been radically changed in the course of 3 seasons, each corner now its own biome. The island is alive with different locations to fight over. The Battle Pass gave us some cool skins, with Captain Blackheart being one of the most customizable skins we've ever gotten. Season 8 was great, and had a clear build-up to the eruption of the volcano that obliterated Tilted Towers and Retail Row. This season was neat, and everything just felt right about it. It kept going what worked in Season 7 and improved upon it.
Number 5. Chapter 1, Season 4.
This is the season that really captured the world. Fortnite was big before Season 4, but Season 4 was around the time everyone started to take notice of this Battle Royale game, including yours truly. This season started with a bang, with Dusty Depot cratered into Dusty Divot. Over time, a military base was set up to study the meteor. which left hop rocks around the crater that allowed players to jump very high. This season also included the very first live event, the rocket. A rocket was constructed in the villain's base that eventually was launched towards the end of the season. This rocket caused rifts to open up around the island, causing objects to drop in from other places and times. With a strong hero versus villain theme and a tier 100 that players still want to fully unlock, Season 4 stands out as a seminal season. It laid the blueprint for seasons to come, and with enough changes over the course of the season, it kept players engaged.
Number 4. Chapter 1, Season 9.
The introduction of Neo Tilted and the Mega Mall was a very exciting way to start the season. In the rubble of the volcano, the pressure plant was also added. Players breathed a sigh of relief as their favorite POIs got a huge revamp from rubble to futuristic cities. This season had all sorts of neat characters like Vendetta, Bunker Jonesy, and Sentinel. Its theme of technology was reflected in almost every skin, and the new gameplay mechanics of slipstreams and sky platforms meant getting around the island was never easier. What really stands out about this season, though, is the final showdown event. This saw a monster that was locked away under the Ice King's castle escape, destroying the castle in the process. Over at the pressure plant, Vendetta constructed a giant mech to battle the monster. The event saw these two powerhouses clash in a monumental battle. We don't think it's that out there to say this was the best event ever.
Number 3. Chapter 2, Season 4.
We're only halfway through this season, so we can't judge it fully, but so far, we love it. There's new and exciting things happening all around the map, the bosses have never been more interesting, and the mythic power-ups give us a real feeling of being a superhero. The one bad thing about this season is that it is so focused on the Marvel universe, it leaves little room for the Fortnite universe. We wish there were some original skins mixed in with the Marvel skins so it felt like a continuation rather than an interruption.
Number 2. Chapter 1, Season 7.
The arrival of an iceberg off the coast of the island was closely watched in the lead-up to Season 7, and as it arrived, we never expected how different the map would be. The snow biome brought with it Happy Hamlet, Polar Peak, and Frosty Flights. Each new location fit in with Battle Pass skins, giving them a location to call their own. No one was more interesting than the Ice King, though. As the ruler of Polar Peak, he gave off an air of icy royalty. During the season, the Ice King would freeze the rest of the island in snow and introduce frozen husks to be defeated. The season had a clear theme, changes throughout the season, and cool skins. It also introduced a storyline where the prisoner, or as we call him, the Fire King, escapes from the Ice King's dungeon. This would lead to changes we saw in Season 8. This depth in the story that also affects the map had us on the edge of our seats. That's why Season 7 ranks so highly.
Number 1. Chapter 2, Season 2.
This is it, our favorite season in all of Fortnite's history! Season 2 gave us some of our most beloved characters in Midas, Sky, and Meowscles. The introduction of henchmen made the island truly feel alive and gave players an extra challenge within the game. Each skin had 2 alternate styles that players would have to lock in forever. They could either choose Ghost or Shadow. This was a cool way to have players feel like they're impacting the skins. There was also Maya, a completely customizable skin that let players really show who they are. The device event was interesting and raised some deep questions about the true story behind the game. It also radically changed the map for Season 3. All around, this season was great, and will be tough for Fortnite to top in the future. Well, there you have it. Those are all the Fortnite seasons ranked. Do you think we treated a season unfairly? Let us know in a comment below. If you enjoyed this video, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and click that bell so you never miss a video. This is NewScapeGames, your source for Fortnite news, leaks, and theories. Thank you for watching.